Hello my lads, what is up? So on the previous hour-long episode we got to unify Italy, well at least partially, and by colonizing Nigeria and getting access to their tropical good RGOs, we actually managed to build up some pretty strong industry based on luxury furniture and wood in general. Plus we got some alcohol factories and we actually also got some silk from our acquisitions in northern Italy, so maybe we will be able to also give luxury clothes a try. But otherwise our furniture industry is pretty lucrative so far. Industry aside, um, we only just managed to unite Italy just a few days ago. In fact, we didn't even get to move our armies, and our only standing army right now is our southern Italian recruits. And this brings us to the question of what do we do right now? Because right now, at any moment, we could end up at war with either France or Austria-Hungary, and France wants these territories back since they got cores on them. And as for the Austrians, they also appear to have a valid casus belli on us. I bet it is for one of their former Italian spherlings. Austrians also still appear to have their grasp on Tuscany, and Rome is also independent, but since they are under my sphere of influence, in a few months I bet I will get the unification event, so that's not a problem. But yeah, since it does appear that France is pretty occupied in a war with Germany right now, and I don't know. I believe that it might end soon, but hopefully it will not end too soon, and France is going to get considerably battered over that war. We also got an alliance with Russia, but Russia recently got defeated by Austria-Hungary and was forced to give independence to Poland, so they have a truce with the Austrians. Therefore, if I attack Austria right now, it will have to be just me on my own. On the bright side, however, since they lost the war against Germany, they do appear to have lost their alliances with the southern German states. So it's only going to be me versus. Oh, never mind, I just noticed that they are actually allied with France. I don't think that was the case previously. So this does kind of complicate things because, yeah, I thought about it and I actually think that I am going to take it easy and raise an even stronger army, get recruits for my new Italian holdings, and only after I am properly militarized will I take action, because even with a lot of brigades to mobilize, right now I will only have my southern Italian divisions. So yeah, for the next few months we are simply going to be building up our strength. But yeah, once that is done, we will have to obviously take action against both the Austrians for our Italian course and the French for Corsica. And I was just looking at my new RGOs, and other than food and other cheap resources like that, it appears that the only good things that we have is iron and silk, just about nothing else. We also do have just a tiny amount of coal on the Savoy province, but it is only 50,000 pops working on it, so this RGO only produces 4 coal. And in fact, it is not even enough to support a single glass factory. So yeah. Oh, we also have coal on Sardinia, I forgot about that. But once again, it's not a lot. Not that it terribly matters actually, since we are a great power and we should be on a priority list for coal imports, but nonetheless it's obviously much better to be a producer of your own coal and having this type of security. My army right now consists of 4 regular stacks of balanced infantry and artillery, and 1 stack of purely artillery. Well, it's not a stack, it's just 3 artillery, but I think that I am going to expand it into 10 artillery, so that when I mobilize, I will have +2 full stacks of a balanced army. Some people like to only build artillery and only cover the front line of their armies with mobilized infantry, but this is not particularly reliable, because what if you suffer a surprise attack? As we all know, mobilization takes time, sometimes it takes months. Plus, in most Victoria 2 mods, you cannot actually mobilize during peacetime, so you will always have to mobilize once the war has started. Well, you can mobilize in peacetime, but you get some pretty fucked up penalties. So yeah, I will only have 10 artillery here to support 2 mobilized stacks, and the rest of my mobilized infantry will be to cover the casualties of my professionals. There we go, it should be enough. The Natalian better pay their debts. Oh, and just a few days after unpausing, we have already inherited Rome. That's great. And yeah, let's make Rome our capital. Why not? A good thing about Italy is that it is a rather compact country without too many states, so you can manage your industry pretty decently actually. But yeah, about what I was saying about potentially having a luxury clothes factory, we are actually barely producing 1 silk per day, thus we do not actually have access to such a thing. This sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We can focus our industry on other things. It also appears that our canned food factories are lacking in steel. I could consider making a steel factory, since we produce some iron and since steel is currently in high demand, but if you have played Victoria, then you must know that steel doesn't tend to be very reliable. So since the next months are going to be kind of an important time frame, I will simply encourage soldiers everywhere. And I will also move my armies to the north, so that if the Austrians decide to attack me, then I won't be caught off guard. And I kind of just got an idea here. If, hypothetically, once my truce with Tuscany expired, if I attacked them, would the Austrians be able to call the French into their defense? And I think that technically they would be able to do so, as in the mechanics of the game actually allow it, but in reality the AI doesn't tend to do such a thing very often. But nonetheless, I am not sure if I am willing to take such a risk. I think that the play here is just oh, and the war with Germany already ended. And Germany unified actually, whoa. That just happened in the time frame of 2, maybe 3 weeks. That's quite a development. But yeah, considering my kind of precarious situation right now, and the fact that Russia doesn't seem to be doing particularly well right now, I will simply build up my strength. It's a good thing that the Piedmonia actually built up some forts here, but we don't have forts on the rest of northern Italy, so we will have to construct some and hope that they will be built on time. And I am also going to set up some manual trade orders since my artillery will otherwise be built extremely slowly. So I am just going to order around 200 artillery, wine, liquor, canned food and clothes. There we go, and as long as I have access to these goods, immediately all this artillery will begin constructing. And yeah, doesn't actually look like I have access to these goods. I do have access, but only partial. That's annoying. Specifically, we have a kind of a canned food shortage. So yeah, this kind of makes me think that I really should invest on a steel factory so that we can be producing our own canned goods. We are already producing some in Savoy, but it's only 0.5 a day, it's not enough. And yeah, Russia seriously isn't doing very fine. In fact, with their armies being so small and so depleted, I wouldn't be surprised if this Jacobin rebellion ends up succeeding. But yeah, otherwise, speaking of building up our strength, it is also time for me to take advantage of those extra Italian ports and strengthen my fleet a little bit. So I began with 14 men-of-wars and 10 frigates, and hopefully that should be enough. Not that numbers really matter, with fleets quality is far more important, but our naval technology isn't a huge priority for me right now, so we will have to settle for the time being at least. So we just finished with our military staff system, and hopefully soon I will be able to replace my city cavalry with actual hussars. Hussars, however the fuck they are spelled. And as a matter of fact, we really have a lot to invent actually. It's not just the naval technology that we are behind. How do I even start? I am inclined to go with artillery since artillery is kind of broken in the game, but in the same time we are also behind in industry. In fact, we haven't even researched railroads yet. Plus, in order for me to be able to build a steel factory and actually support the canned foods industry, I need metallurgy, so yeah, I think that this is what I'm going to go with. And since I am going to be on a truce with Tuscany for at least the next 3 years, I think that I am going to make use of all those wasted diplomatic points and increase my relationship with them, so that hopefully I can take them away from Austria through sphering and not through war. As for our industry, it does appear that we are having a little bit of a wood shortage, but once I get a couple of farming techs to increase my wood output, then it shouldn't be a problem. This is kind of a huge risk that I am actually considering right now, but I wonder if the German Empire would accept an alliance with me right now. And in order for me to even find out, I will have to abandon my alliance with Russia, and by abandoning this alliance, I just might give the Austrians enough confidence for them to actually declare war on me and potentially force me into a two-front war situation. So I will only do this once I feel that I am properly militarized and all my states are at least 4% soldiers. So now that we can build steel mills, I will also go for railroads, because why not? So according to the trade screen, in terms of luxury furniture, we don't even have even 11% of the world's production, whereas in terms of tropical wood we have 25% of the world's production, so we can definitely increase our share of luxury furniture produced. We just have to encourage even more craftsmen. And it also doesn't appear to be a risk, at least for the time being, since for this good the demand is still 3 times over the supply. And with tropical wood, even though we are the number 1 producer, the rest of the top 5 producers are mostly uncivilized countries, which means they get to sell after us. So I can definitely increase my tropical wood production in order to supply my industry. News reaches us that the Persian ruling elite has thrown out our ambassador. That sucks. On the bright side, however, we do have access to their country through the Black Sea and through our Russian allies. So yeah, I think I will simply attack them. Oh, and apparently fucking Egypt joined them. That's so stupid. And they are besieging Suez. So yeah, this might end up being this war might end up being a little bit more complicated. But it shouldn't be a problem. We have the armies and we have the fleets. Only risk is us potentially getting attacked by Austria-Hungary on the meantime. And precisely for this reason I am actually going to mobilize. Better safe than sorry. So our fleet is arriving and it should be an easy victory. Nice, they didn't even get to occupy Suez. And yeah, that's great actually. So now that Suez is secured, I will send my force for an expedition and they will go from Armenia into North Persia, and I believe that occupying their capital should give me enough war score to end the war. On the meantime, Russia is getting really fucked right now. The Jacobins have actually gotten Saint Petersburg, and I bet that in a few weeks Russia will turn into a constitutional monarchy. So we just reached Armenia, and in a few weeks Persia should be pretty much defeated. Oh, and that's pretty epic actually. Apparently here is how it works. Persia is my sphere link, they get a random event which kicks me out of their sphere of influence, but the fucking Anglos are on friendly relations with the Persians, and guess what happens? They intervene. This fucking game sometimes. Fortunately for me, the German Empire wants an alliance with me, and it was actually Russia that broke its alliance with me once it became a constitutional monarchy. Of course I will accept. So with Germany by my side, I am already feeling much more secure, since even though I am at war with the Anglos, if the Austrians and the French decide to attack me, they will first have to deal with Germany. A really fucked up situation that has risen though right now is that if the Brits get military access through Afghanistan, which they definitely have the potential to do so since Afghanistan is their sphere link, then my isolated army right here is going to be in quite a predicament. I still do have military access with the Russians, so it's not terrible. I do have a retreat route, but it is still not ideal. So as the Anglos are occupying Sardinia, my fleet is coming back from Russia, and the play right now is, since the English fleet responsible for the invasion of Sardinia isn't actually that strong, it is just 5 transports, I will get a full stack on Sardinia and have it defend the mountains of Sassari while the Anglos are occupying Cagliari. And if they do attack me, they will probably lose since they do not have enough artillery to support this force. And I just wiped out an 18,000 strong Persian army here, not bad. The Anglos, however, already occupied Sardinia, so we will just have to see if we will be able to take it back. So the Anglos immediately took the bait and they are attacking us. However, we do have hills and there also appears to be a river, plus our general has +3 defense. So even though they outnumber us, I believe that we do have a solid chance of winning. Let's see. We are kind of winning, I think. They are definitely receiving more casualties. The Persians are being annoying. Hopefully we will get them here. But yeah, our infantry got pretty much wiped out. But the Anglos also didn't get it very... The Anglos also got a pretty rough deal, and it looks like we did manage to catch the Persians. That's great so far. The question is, can we completely stack wipe them? We are both at 0 organization. Not bad at all. We lost 8,000 and they lost 36,000. So yeah, let's just go for it. Oh, we even get to be the defender. That's even better. Oh, and the Russians bankrupted. And yeah, that's how you kill 40,000 English people. So, to make up for their defeat at Sardinia, the British are also launching expeditions here on Nigeria and on Sinai. And I am especially worried about their expedition on Nigeria, since this is my base of tropical wood, and if they get it, then my domestic industry might end up getting compromised. And to be honest, even if I get Tehran, then probably nothing will happen, because that's just the nature of great power AI in Victoria 2. They don't care if the countries they represent are suffering. We will still give it a little bit of a try, but my hopes aren't too high. On the meantime, I am probably going to declare war on the Austrians in a few months, and I will explain you my logic for it in a few moments. The Persian fleet somehow ended up on the Mediterranean, and it joined the Egyptian fleet. I am not sure how it happened, but it's good for me to get some free war score out of them. But yeah, as I was saying, my mobilization is more or less complete, and I also got 80 brigades, and with the majority of my army already being on the Franco-Austrian border, and with me having an alliance with the Germans who are willing to join my war, I think that declaring war right now is the best possible play. Plus, with the Anglos having naval supremacy, then I won't be able to do much about this current war, so I don't necessarily expect myself to beat them. Plus, the Germans don't really have much of a fleet, so even if I call them to help me, they won't be able to do much. So yeah, I will soon declare this war against Austria in order to get a success actually. Plus, the damage that I am receiving from my colonial holdings getting occupied and damaged actually generates me war exhaustion, and it will also soon begin to cause troubles with my luxury furniture production, so I can't keep this for much longer. We defeated the Egyptian-Persian fleet with very minor casualties. That's great, free war score I guess. So, just as I was getting my troops off Sardinia, it looks like I accidentally engaged with another British fleet which landed another 15,000 Brits into Sardinia. So I guess I got another 15,000 English people to kill. Shame that I couldn't just drown them, that would be better. And we pretty much destroyed them. So to make up for all those English expeditions all over my colonial empire, I also will occupy Malta, even though it will probably not do much, it will give me just a little bit of war score. Oh, and finally here they come in Persia, and I am probably fucked right here because this is a +3 attack general, he has 0 defense. And yeah, that's probably really bad. We did manage, however, to cause them horrible casualties, so I guess it's not that bad after all. But if this army of mine does survive, I will definitely appoint them my best general, because I will be able to cause the Anglos huge casualties if I abuse the Persian mountains with a good general. So 9,000 casualties for me, 20,000 casualties for the Anglos, not bad. I will give it a try to win this. So my armies are ready. The Germans don't have as many troops as I would like them to have, but they should be able to handle themselves. And yeah, I will declare the war now. Let's go for Venetia. What could possibly go wrong? So the American Civil War began, and recognizing the Confederacy will give me 1 free prestige. Sure, why not? The French decided to engage me on the mountains of Savoy, but they are pretty much screwed. The Austrians aren't doing too bright either, their front so far has kind of collapsed, and they do have an army here on Venice that will likely get stag wiped unless they are able to breeze through Udine and create a retreat path for them. And yeah, the Austrians did end up getting stag wiped before they could relieve them, that's great. The French are getting shredded here, not bad so far. The Romanians want an alliance with me, and I do wonder if they will be willing to help me out with the Austrians. And yeah, they are, actually. Okay, this game is dumb. So what happened is they were willing to help me against Austria, but they said no in my call against the Brits, and this cancelled my alliance with them, and then they didn't even answer on the second call. That's so stupid. We finally won the Battle of Udine. 15,000 casualties for us, 46,000 casualties for the Austrians. Pretty bad for them. And yeah, I will abuse this and get myself another war goal. And I will also engage the Austrian fleet since I don't want them to just generate free war score by blockading the Adriatic coast. As for the Persian front, one of the English armies has this annoying bug where they move somewhere, but there is no graphical representation that they are moving, so I constantly have to pause to see if my army is about to get attacked or not. It's pretty annoying. On the bright side, however, my war exhaustion is still pretty low, so I will be able to continue this war against the Anglos for at least a little while longer. And looks like the Anglos somehow managed to sneak out an expeditionary force to Austria of 50,000 troops. That's not great. Since the front against France is more or less open, I might need to borrow out 1 or 2 armies from there. Okay, so what the fuck is going on? Why isn't Germany at war? Didn't I call them? What? What happened? Did they get a separate peace with the Austrians? I definitely clicked the call ally button. No, the Austrians don't have a truce with Germany. So what happened? Alright, that's really weird. And my front here on Austria has kind of collapsed as a result of the unexpected arrival of the British Expeditionary Force, but I do believe that I will be able to stabilize things with my reinforcements that will be arriving from France. Apparently I was fighting this war solo this entire time and I didn't even realize. The Germans somehow didn't help me. I am 99% sure that I definitely called them to war and that the tooltip was saying that they were going to join. And if they didn't join and if they abandoned me and the tooltip was wrong, well, wouldn't then my alliance with the Germans be automatically broken? But this didn't happen. And if they did get a separate peace, wouldn't they have a truce with the Austrians? I have absolutely zero idea what happened. I will have to rewatch the video for this. But anyways, we have already reached around... this episode is already around half an hour long. So this is the spot where I will be wrapping things up. Some really weird shit happened in this episode and most of this unexpected. I really didn't wanna end up in a war with the British over Persia, but I guess I got the shit RNG event. Plus I have next to zero idea on why the Germans aren't helping me in this war. I will definitely rewatch my video and see if I fucked something up. As for the effects of this war on my economy, well, things are pretty self-evident. With me having lost pretty much the entirety of my access to tropical wood, my luxury furniture factories are not having a very fun time right now. And with me having over 75,000 craftsmen employed on those factories, which is very roughly 1/3 of my craftsman population, I will have to be paying a lot of subsidies until this war is over, and this is already reflected by my budget. My hope right now is to get a few more naval successes against the Austrians, maybe get sent another expedition against the British here on Sine, and once that is done, then I will be able to reduce my naval upkeep. If it comes down to that, I will even have to increase my tariffs even further, maybe decrease the salaries that I pay to my public employees. But as you can see, my pops are already getting increasingly annoyed by this war. Hopefully my war exhaustion isn't too high, so I still will be able to get some money from agricultural production, but this can't go on for much longer. I would say that things are pretty interesting so far, and you know, I am on a pretty challenging spot right now. I will have to be really careful and do my best, though this challenge has just emerged from this game being garbage. Maybe I'm wrong actually, maybe I'm just retarded and I missed something important and maybe the Germans indeed weren't able to help me, or maybe it was just a bug, I don't know, I really don't know what happened there. Perhaps I just need to eventually bite the bullet and accept that Persia is lost and that the Anglos won this one. But it's just that it feels that I am so close. I am at 35% war score. Maybe if I stag wipe this British army, and if I get a lucky battle on the mountains of Persia, maybe I just will be able to get just enough war score for me to be able to win this war. Other than that, France is being pretty much a pushover right now. So if it really comes down to that, I can simply completely abandon the French front and help me relieve pressure from my Austrian front. The Tuscanians didn't join the Austrians since they don't have an alliance with them, so I guess that's nice. What wouldn't be nice if it would be if they ended up joining them in the middle of the war. Then the road to Rome would be open and I would get a facton of war exhaustion. Hopefully that will not happen. I do have 2 fresh armies coming, another one from Savoy, and soon this army will also come. So yeah, I believe that on the next episode we will finally taste some success. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode, lads, and I am really glad that you lads are looking forward for my videos. I hope that you did enjoy yourself and that you will be looking forward for the next one. The reason that I took my sweet old time to upload this episode, even though I was enjoying myself with this campaign, is because playing as Italy and watching my pops grow, watching my pops migrate to other provinces, watching my pops getting their needs fulfilled with the formerly lucrative luxury furniture factories and all of that stuff, kind of hyped me up to make some research on how Victoria 2 pops work. And in this week, I can boast that I made some considerable progress on my Victoria 2 pop simulator that I am currently developing with Unity. And it is possible that maybe in a week or two I will make a video about it to showcase it to you. It will be short and I will just be showing some of my progress. But I am quite hyped about it, and I do hope that I will be able to eventually reach a release version with a user interface and all of that stuff. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye, lads.